Well guys, I recently came across a motorized bike on Facebook Marketplace, which has one of those classic China doll engine kits on it. So I'm gonna be experimenting with it and seeing what we can do.
I'm gonna be putting a CVT, torque converter, variator, whatever you wanna call it, on this engine. So the first things we gotta do is take out all the old stuff. This includes the sprocket, the shaft, and all the clutch mechanism doodads. So apparently you need a special tool to take the sprocket off. I didn't have that, so we improvised.
Oh, finally.
It was an absolute pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah, buddy. On a good note, this bike is super light, which is kind of nice to handle.
My calculations are correct. I can just... So I'm going to be reusing this gear, but there's two plates kind of sandwiched together, and I need them to be one plate. So I'll go ahead and weld those up in a minute. But first, here is the pull starter I'm going to be using. This pull start came with the cup and the pull start itself, which was really nice. I just got to mod things up and then cut the bottom half of that cup off.
Tell me that's not just meant to be. So I bought this shaft off Amazon. It's just a keyed 5/8" shaft, and this doesn't quite fit on there. It's just a sliver off, along with the original bearings too. They don't quite fit on there. I'm gonna throw this in the lathe and shave off just a hair.
And I completely messed up, so I had to cut it off and redo it. I'm gonna blame the lathe, but it was probably my fault. It was my fault. Next, I attempted to make the housing, but that also didn't pan out that well. At my work, they had a workshop, but they were getting rid of a bunch of phenolic laminate, and so I have a big board of this stuff, and so I'm using that for this project. It's a really tough material though. I did have to make a little bit of clearance for the top end fins of the motor, but that sucker fits on there pretty nicely.
Well, unfortunately, the first iteration of this is complete. Garbage. I ended up cutting two more of those plates. I'm spacing it out a little bit more, and then also on the original design, the centerpiece was not centered with this and the bolt holes, so I couldn't even mount it, which I don't know how I even did that. Without further ado, I think I can put the pull starter on there. Let me take the spark plug out first. I'll do it that way. It's like a turbo. And I'm gonna put the spark plug in so we can kind of get an idea of the compression this sucker has. Ow!
Now we're switching over to putting the torque converter on there.
Of course, they normally come with a back plate already on there, but we're not really gonna find a way to mount that, so I'm gonna have to make my own back plate.
So there's that sheet of phenolic I was talking about. It's pretty tough stuff. Well, but it's easy to machine, so that's great. So there's a back plate and then a front plate, and they kind of sandwich together. And then I got some 5/8" bearings that I'm just gonna press on in there. Yeah, I completely destroyed those bearings. Luckily I had 2 more, so I cleared out the hole a little bit more and then super glued them in. I also cut out some spacers. This is to space the back bearing a little bit more.
This is the shaft that the driven pulley was on, and it has this little lip on here, so I won't be able to use these 5/8" bearings. I'm just gonna shave off the rest of this down to 5/8 so that I can slip this all the way through, and then I should be able to stick our pulley on.
I might have to redo these brackets so that it's angled more, because right now the chain will hit that bottom spacer. But we're not really concerned about that in this video right now.
All right, so the drive shaft is 5/8", and torque converter is 3/4, so I got a little sleeve here. Tap, tap, tap. So right now we have the stock springs in this drive pulley, and these springs in conjunction with these weights kind of dictate how much RPM it takes for this drive pulley to engage. 99% sure that it probably won't work, but let's try it out. And then we might have to switch some springs.
That blue tape on the motor is so that I can properly use my tachometer. So as you can see, we're looking at 1242, which is way under what we need for this thing to engage. So I had the idea of just trying one spring and seeing if that does anything. But crazy enough, it still didn't do anything. There was just a very small amount of engagement, but nothing near what we need.
All right, so I ran to the store, to Ace Hardware, and I just bought some generic springs. They're way less tension than the stock, so we're gonna see how that works.
Yeah, this is pretty cool because those springs are just right off the shelf, so anyone can go to Ace Hardware and pick them up. And here's the part information for those.
Okay, this is using Ace Hardware springs off the shelf. There we go.
And look at that. Those 2 springs did the trick. I regret it now, but I should have put the tachometer on just to see where this was exactly engaging at. Anyways guys, I'm super happy with that result. In a video or 2, I'll be putting this on a bike and we'll actually be able to see how it performs. So be sure to stay tuned for that.